Okay, so we're gonna do the solving equations and inequalities foldable. I may go kind of fast just to kind of get through it. So stop, pause, reverse, whatever you need to do to catch up, make sure you understand. So the first one we're gonna do is finding equations. So in step one, find the middle of the equation, which basically means we always just split it at that equal sign. So we're splitting it up into two pieces. Put on or take off the same thing on each side. Remember, all numbers on one side and variables on the other. Divide the numbers up by the amount of variables. So in two-step equations, like most of these are, your first step, that's a 1, is you want to add or subtract first. Second step will be multiply or divide. So keep that in mind. Your first step's always add or subtract. Second step, multiply or divide. So that'll help you get started. So we split these up, and one thing I do that helps some people, maybe it doesn't help you so much, I don't know. But if it's got a variable, which means it's got a letter attached to it, I put a triangle around those. And then numbers that are just numbers by themselves, I put a big circle around them. And that's just to show you these two things cannot be combined. Variables can only be combined with variables. Numbers can only be combined with numbers. So I can't add x plus 13. I cannot do that. When it's like this, we can only move one thing, really. If I move this 2x, then there's nothing left over there. I've lost the game. I've ruined it. I'm going to get a wrong answer. We want to keep something on either side of the equal sign the whole time. We're going to balance it. That's why they call it balancing equations. So I can't move him. I can't move the circle because there's no other circle over here for it to combine with. It's just a lone circle. So the only thing I could move would be this 1x. There's no 1 in front of it, but you see an x there, there's a 1 there. So to get rid of him, we have to do the opposite. So if he's addition or if he's a positive, we're going to subtract. So that cancels him out. What you do to one side, we're going to do to the other side. So 2x minus 1x equals 1x. And then we got 13. Now normally, anytime you see a number right next to the variable, imagine a multiplication sign in the middle, you're basically saying 1 times something equals 13. So in this case, you kind of get the gist. You know that it's going to be 13, but your last step would be to divide. Since that's being multiplied, we do the opposite. But 13 divided by 1 is just 13, and that gives us x, okay? A tip is you may always want to start on the side that has the most stuff. A lot of people want to start with this over here and get rid of it. Don't do that. Start on the side that has the most stuff. That way you're safe. So 3x minus 20 equals 7x. So I've got triangle, circle, triangle. Like I said, I can't move him. I'm going to start on the side that has the most stuff. I can't move him. There's no other circles, so I got to move the 3x. So I'm going to subtract to get rid of him. So that gives me 4x. Bring down that negative 20. And then again, your last step. So we subtracted. Second step is going to be multiply or divide. Since this is already being multiplied, 4 times something is negative 20. I'm going to divide. Okay, so then negative 20 divided by 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5. And then if I've got a negative and a positive dividing, 2 different signs, my answer is always negative. Equals x. Next one, I've got circle, triangle, circle. So again, the side that has the most stuff is this one. Can't move him. He's the only triangle. He must stay. But I can move him. So I'm going to do the opposite of this sign, which is negative. I got negative 10 minus 5, same sign, add and keep. So add those numbers, keep the sign, bring down negative 5x. Again, that's being multiplied, so I have to divide to get rid of it. I'm dividing the same sign. Even though it's negative, they're the same sign, so that means my answer is going to be positive 3. And then I've got a 28, 6x, and a negative 16. The side with the most stuff is this one, old triangle. He's the only triangle. We don't want to lose him. So I'm going to get rid of the 16. Notice that sign in front, so I do the opposite of that. Plus 16. So 6 and 8, or 6 plus 8, 14, 44. Bring down 6x. And then we've got 6 times something equals 44. So we can divide it. 44 divided by 6. 42. So it'll be 7.3 repeating, but we'll just leave it at 7.3. And then the last two, we've got a variable, a number, and a variable. Again, the side with the most stuff is this one, old 13, only circle. We want to keep him safe. So we'll get rid of the 6x by subtracting him. So bring that 13 down. 7 minus 6 is 1x. So just like the one up there, you could divide by 1, but you guys know that that would be the same. And then last one, we've got triangle, circle, triangle. The side with the most stuff. The only triangle is this 2x, so we subtract. Minus 2x. Think about it being 1. Remember, there's an imaginary 1 in front of that. So I'm going to bring down this negative 8. 1 minus 2 would be negative 1. And so you don't want to leave it like that. On all of our other answers, our x is positive. There's no negative in front of that x. So if you can think, if negative x is negative 8, then positive x should be positive 8. Or you can go through just to be safe and divide it. So negative 8 divided by negative 1 would be positive 8.